Hey there, Brewskers, what's up? Hope your day's going well. Hope your weekend was a good one. And I'm sorry I haven't posted in a long time. I've been having some depression recently. And so I thought I'd jump on and actually talk about depression since it's a very common mental health issue. And we don't need to worry about brewing because I accidentally brew before filming. So I can tell you what's in it. It's a third CBD coffee, a third Kahlua flavored coffee, and a third hardcore coffee. And it's and I mixed it with funfetti creamer, so it tastes pretty good. It's like the perfect mix of everything. And yeah, so oh my god, my back hurts just so much. But since I've been feeling depressed, I thought I'd talk about depression because a lot of people go through it, especially usually during times like these where we can't really hang out with people or anything, we can't go do stuff. So I just thought I'd talk about it. See, I have depression, but that's also part of my bipolar problem. And so I've just been stuck at not wanting to get out of bed, not wanting to do anything. I didn't want to go to my volunteering. I didn't want to, cook, eat, but I knew I had to. Because if I took my meds on an empty stomach, I would get sick. And I don't want to do that. The last thing I want to do is barf. So, let's move on to something called clinical depression, or also known as major depression. So here's what Dr. Google says about it. Depression is a mental health disorder characterized by persistently depressed mood or loss of interest in activities causing significant impairment in daily life. And so, some people always wonder, what causes depression? What makes it, hit the hardest for some people? Well, here's some ways. It could be a biological problem, a psychological problem, or just, a whole bunch of other, some could be abuse, either physical, sexual, or emotional abuse. Certain medications can cause it. Conflict, if you're not good at dealing with conflict. Death or loss of a person in your life. Of course, genetics, biological. Major events like COVID. Or maybe whatever, happens to be on the news. Another is personal problems. And lastly is being diagnosed with a serious illness. Those are what Dr. Google says are the 9 causes of depression. But it is one thing to feel depressed because you can't go out, can't do shit. You just have to stay at home, and the social distancing thing, and that can cause some depression. And there's lots of different types of depression, but I'm talking today about major depression. I'll get on the other types of depression later, because some people might find that interesting. My eyelashes falling off. My eyelashes are being a little bitch. Okay, that's better. So depression is the persistent feeling of sadness, of loss of interest, and characterizers of major depression. The characterizers of major depression can lead to a range of behavioral and physical symptoms. These symptoms include change in sleep, appetite, energy level, concentration, daily behavior, or self-esteem. Yeah, I have low self-esteem, but you know what? I think I'm beautiful, and I think that I'm pretty smart for a person that, only graduated high school and said fuck other schools. So, I just do research, and I learned a lot of things online. Like, I learned how to bartend online. I learned, I'm learning more about depression, and I'm learning about, health in general just from online. Like, for some reason, I don't see that I need to pay a school to learn something. I could just Google it. So, yeah. So, here's some other things about depression. Depression can also be associated with thoughts of suicide. And if you are feeling suicidal, seek help. Call the suicide hotline. Talk to someone. They'll help you through it. They helped me multiple times. And when they couldn't help me over the phone, I would go to the hospital and just recoup, recalibrate, just get back to a normal mindset. So, here's some symptoms of depression, and there is a quiz you could take online. I don't have that in my notes, so I will look it up and probably put it in the description if you want to take the assessment to see if you have depression. But here's some symptoms. The persistent feeling of sadness or loss of interest that characterizes major depression can lead to a range of behavioral and physical symptoms. Oh, I've already said all this. I'll have to cut that out. But yeah, if you have any symptoms of suicidal thoughts, just find help, talk to someone, call a friend, at least an understanding one. I would hate to see someone die because they didn't look for help. They didn't go for help. They didn't call for help. And there's so much worth living for that they just don't know what it is yet. And, my new thing to live for is for this channel to have people learn about mental health disorders. I would hate to see someone lose someone because they didn't know how to listen. And, or they would make fun, being picked on for having depression, which I have by my family. It hurts. It hurts a lot. I feel betrayed. I feel like I'm not worthy of being a part of the family. And, sometimes that alone makes me suicidal, but I've learned to make friends, and they became my family. And I chose friendship over my family most of the time because they knew how to help me get through my depression. So I didn't have to constantly call my crisis line or the suicide hotline or any other type of line out there that can help you. But here's some other characteristics and symptoms of depression. Let's start with the mood ones. You can get anxiety, apathy, general discontent, guilt, hopelessness, loss of interest or pleasure in activities, mood swings, or sadness. Well, duh. You're never happy when you're depressed, unless you're weird. I take that back. You don't have to be weird. You just have to be, I don't know how to put that nicely. But if you're happy when you're depressed, that's not depression. So here's some behavioral things that you may experience with depression is agitation, excessive crying, irritability, restlessness, or social isolation. Like, not just because you're not just isolating because of what's happening nowadays, but you're literally cutting yourself off from anyone and everyone. You don't want to talk. You don't want to see anyone. You just want to be alone. But that's the worst time you could do that. You need to talk to people. If you isolate yourself, you're going to just think things and make it worse. You need to talk to somebody. Seek help. It's okay. It really is. It's really okay to seek help when you're feeling depressed. Because there's ways that, you can get through it. And, like seeing a therapist or, getting some maybe medication, I know there's ways to help with depression. And, if you want to be decent, let's turn on some light because it's getting dark. There we go. Now I can see my pretty face. Okay. I forgot what the hell I was talking about. So let's just move on. Okay, here's some symptoms that are around sleep. You can have early waking, excessive sleepiness, insomnia, or restless sleep. Yeah, that has been me for like the past 3 days. I did not want to get out of bed. All I wanted to do was sleep. I didn't want to do anything. And I didn't. I just didn't get up out of bed unless I absolutely had to. Like to eat and to go to the bathroom. And that was about it. I even slowed down. Because usually when I get depressed, I sometimes tend to smoke a little more. And that's not always a good thing. Because I'm trying to quit cigarettes so bad. It's hard. So, yeah. Another few symptoms that deal with the whole body is excessive hunger, fatigue, or loss of appetite. I have had the loss of appetite. I don't want to eat. I look at food and I'm just like, ugh. I don't like it. I don't like how I feel. Trying to find something to eat and then forcing myself to eat and then probably having to take something to keep it down. Because food is just disgusting to me when I'm depressed. Oh, excuse me. Here's some cognitive symptoms that can pop up with depression, and that is lack of concentration, slowness in activities, or thoughts of suicide. Again, suicide, that is a big thing that happens with depression. And I really, really, really recommend you call the suicide hotline. Because they are great people. They show you that you deserve to live. I think everyone deserves to live. They'll help you through it, and if they can't help you, they'll call someone who can, and maybe you might have to spend a few days in the hospital, and you might end up having to start taking medication. And trust me, the medication helps a lot, but it does not cure the problem. There's more, there's reasons why we're depressed, and sometimes those things can't be fixed, and medication is not an end all fix all. And if I could, and many mental health workers I've talked to said if they had a magic wand and they can just go bippity boppity better, they would. I would do that. Especially to myself. I don't want to feel all these things. I don't want to have to deal with depression when it rolls around. And yeah, so fine, seek help. Seek help. I'm not saying this like you're not crazy. You're just depressed. And it's okay to be depressed, especially if something major in your life, like someone died. Yeah, you know, maybe you just ended a relationship that you thought was going to go somewhere. You know, yeah, those things are depressing, and sometimes you just don't know what to do about it. Here's some more symptoms. Excuse me, but this chair is uncomfortable. It deals with the weight. Either you will gain weight or you'll lose weight, depending on, you know, if you decide to try to eat your feelings away, or if you decide, I'm just not going to eat. And so, trust me, it's good to eat. You know, make something that you like. Have someone make something that you like if you don't know how to cook. You know, get your favorite meal and eat it. And then if you're still feeling down in the dumps, and you're starting to feel anything like suicide, just call the suicide hotline. I will put the number in the description. And so yeah, here's a few other common symptoms, and that is poor appetite, which I've touched on, and repeatedly going over your thoughts. And yeah, that's what happens when you isolate. You tend to overthink, and you tend to just not want to be here. You think when I feel depressed, I haven't felt like this one for this one, but usually when I'm depressed, I lock myself away, which I have, but what's been helping is not only the urge, the want to make this channel about something that's important, but I have things to look forward to, like my caregiver. Like, she is possibly, I know she's not really technically supposed to be my friend, but I see her as a friend. She makes my day. So when, you know, the weekend's over and I get to see her, I'm happy again. Like, I feel like I can do anything, and she makes me want to do things. And, you know, we'll help each other do stuff like decorate trees like I have right here, or the ones over here on my desk, and then the one in my corner, and then the one on top of my dresser. Yeah, I think it's a little excessive, but 7 trees should be enough. 7, yes, 7. You heard that right. I have 7 different trees that I refuse to take down. I refuse. They all mean something to me. Each tree I decorated this year was for someone who died in my life. And this is the best way I could, you know, put them out there, and to be like, they're in my memory and in my heart still. That, you know, especially like some of the people that were just, I hate, you know, they were just too young to die. But, you know, sickness and all that other stuff, you know, it sneaks up on you. And sometimes you lose them. Like, I lost my friend. I'm not gonna say her name, but she was like 22, and I think she was in her 20s, maybe not 22, but she was definitely in her 20s, and she died from kidney failure and liver failure. Her transplants failed, and she died 3 days before Christmas. along with someone else that died on the same day, was my ex-father-in-law. He died from a heart attack. And, you know, the heart attack happened in his sleep. He didn't feel pain. But there were days where I thought it was my fault that he's dead, because I was supposed to be there. And normally when I'm at his house, or, you know, with my ex's family, I was always hanging out with him, because he taught me a lot in my life. Because when I was 16, my dad kicked me out of the house. That broke my heart. He was accusing me of things that I just wasn't doing. And I was going to my ex's house because he was my study buddy. Like, we had the same classes, same teachers. So we would do homework together and he would help me. Because I just couldn't concentrate in school. And especially since it felt like the teachers didn't care about me. They only cared about the score results on certain tests. And they would focus on the people that were the ones that got the good results. And yeah. Anyways, depression sucks. Okay, it's gonna suck. If you get depression, it's gonna suck. And like I said, you just gotta find a way to power through it. It only lasts a couple of months at most, maybe a year or two, if you know if you have something drastic happen in your life. But you know, if you seek help and you talk to a therapist, or you know, get medication from your doctor to help you through the depression. Like I said, medication is not a fix-all end-all. It's just there to help. And finding the right medication is what's important. Trust me, I've been through so many different pills. And then they realized, oh, you're not just depressed, you have bipolar. And then a year later, they're like, oh, you actually have schizoaffective disorder. I talked about that last video. But if I need to touch on it again, just, you know, let me know. Maybe I can give you more answers as I research. Because there is a book full of different diagnoses that I want to talk about. And I'm talking about the ones that affect me. Oh no. Oh well. The ones that affect me as of right now. My fucking light died. Oh well. So, yeah, my plan is to go through all the mental health disorders and to, you know, teach the world that it's okay. It's okay to have mental health issues. We're not the bad guys. We're never gonna hurt. Well, I can't say never, but we don't want to hurt people. We just don't want to hurt ourselves either. Like, we're fighting every tooth and nail with mental health. Like, I don't know. That's one thing I hate about Hollywood and the media in general. They make mental health issues look like it's a terrible thing to have and that it's taboo to talk about. But you know what? I'm gonna talk about the taboo stuff. Might as well. No one else seems to be freaking doing it. So I'm gonna talk about it, and that's why I chose depression, especially since for the past 3 days I've been feeling depressed. And I don't want anyone to feel what I felt. I want them to be living a happy, healthy life. Just, you know, being the best they could be. And sometimes, you know, people, they choose situations, like, but You never choose to be depressed. It hits you like a ton of bricks. Just like you just feel weighed down and that you're not worthy of anything, let alone living. And that once you start feeling that, you should definitely seek help. You know, going to the hospital, it's not that bad. Unless you get a terrible hospital like I have once. Oh, I'm glad I don't live in California anymore for that one. That hospital sucked ass. I don't know, actually, I don't know which one's worse. The one in Missouri I went to or the one in California. They were both pretty bad. And, you know, they just didn't, like, the nurses and the watching staff that watch the psych units, they just didn't care. They could literally not give two shits. And, you know, and then on top of it, like, I used to identify as an atheist. I don't know where I came out as a Wiccan, but I remember a girl, I don't remember her name, but she tried her hardest to get me back to liking the Christian God. And I'm like, no, you can't make me. You can't make me. I don't think that guy's real. And if he is real, he's out to hurt us more than help us. So, yeah. But I'm going on a few tangents. I'm sorry. That happens though, right? But, so let me get back to the subject. Here's some treatments. So a doctor might prescribe you, you know, antidepressants, which I remember the first time I took one, I felt weird. Like, I felt foggy. I felt just like, it was a really close thing to being high. And like, it's not even a good high. If it was a high, it sucked. Like, I felt like a zombie. I did not like it. But until I got on the right medication, I started feeling better. Once they found the correct medication that I can take for my depression. And another thing that is used as treatment is talk therapy, which, yes, therapy helps. It helped me I'm still working on it though, but it's helping me get over the loss of all the things that happened in my life, all the people that died, all the ones that just decided to up and leave me and not talk to me anymore. So, you know, like I said, I made friends. You know, I talked to the friends I knew, and if they didn't want to hear it, or if they felt downright just downright they didn't want to hear about it. And I even have a few friends that think that me doing this YouTube channel, talking about mental health, talking about my mental health, that I shouldn't be doing it. And I don't see why not. Like, I really don't. I don't see why, you know, why we should not talk about mental health. I wish I could find my charger. But, yeah. So, depression. This may have been a semi-long or short, depending on how I edit video, but forgive me for all my tangents. And oh my gosh, what? I just looked at my notes again, and one of the procedure or things that they can do, or I thought this was off the books. Like, I thought they took this out of, like, things to do when you have depression. But electroconvulsive therapy? Are you kidding me? Basically, electric shock therapy. No. 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 Don't do that. Don't do that. That'll just mess you up more. But, yeah. Seek help if you feel depressed and suicidal. Please. You know, I may not know you, but I have a big heart and I understand what you're going through because I go through it myself. And if you leave a comment, I can try to reply because most of the time I'm not paying attention to my channel, which I should be. But I think I'm just on the making videos right now. But I like the comments, and if you like this video, I thought it was informative, even with all my tangents, give it a like. Subscribe if you want to hear more about mental health and all the different ones that are out there. You know, make sure to subscribe. And when you subscribe, make sure you click that little bell so that you get updated when I decide to download a new video. Maybe someday I'll go live, but I don't think I need to right now. This is a more sit down and edit type of conversation. But I don't do live. I really don't. The only thing I do live is watch live. Like, you know, I have my things that I use to cope. Like watching podcasts. My favorite podcast is The Drunken Peasants. And then, you know, there's a few other people I watch that I watch The Amazing Atheist, even though I'm not atheist anymore, but I like him. He's funny. You know, if I can get a laugh, and laughter is the best medicine, in my opinion, you got to find someone that's going to make you laugh. You feel better. Really, you do. You have someone close to you that you're good at just throwing back stuff back and forth with each other without, you know, hurting each other's feelings, and then getting a good laugh out of it. Oh, you just feel so much better, even if it's just for that moment. And that's why I like my caregiver so much, is because I can do that with her. I can throw some shade her way and then she'll crack a joke. And I just call her a baby because, you know, she's like 18 years younger than me, and maybe, no, not 18. I can't do math right. 12 youngers. 12 youngers? What? 12 years younger than me. And, you know, I can't believe this happened, but I was at the store and the clerk was like, "Oh, is this your daughter?" And I'm like, "Oh, no." No, it's not my daughter, it's my caregiver. And she's like, "Oh." Yeah, my caregiver's like, "Yeah, no." And she asked, "How old do you think I am?" And the lady's like, "I don't know, 13. And I was like, "Oh, Lordy." But, and then she looked at me and she's like, "How old are you?" And I'm like, old enough to know that she can't be my kid. And I'm not going to share my age. Maybe, no, I will share my age. I'm only 31, but only for another week. I'll be 32 in February. And, yeah, so she, that was a funny experience, honestly. It made me laugh. Like, but that was at the beginning of when my depression was starting to kick in, because it was the last day that she would see me for the week. And I definitely have a rough time around the weekends, because she's the only thing I have to a normal relationship with a person that's a friend. I mean, I'm friends with a few ladies here in my apartment building, but since I'm the youngest person in this building, it's hard to have them understand where I'm coming from. And to them, I'm the baby. So I'm the baby of the apartment, and that's okay. But, you know, there are facilities like the one I live in. It's like a normal apartment, you know, except it's kind of run by the government, and you know, this apartment complex within itself seems to house people with mental health issues. And I plan on talking to them and interviewing each person that I feel comfortable interviewing, to see what they think of mental health, and, you know, ask them what subject I should talk about next. So, yeah. Well, like I said later, before I went on yet another tangent, like, subscribe, comment. It helps boost my channel, and maybe more people will get a chance to see that mental health is not a bad thing. Because, you know what? Even though I'm depressed, I know that there's something out there for me that needs me. Like, I feel that this channel is what needs me. I need to show that mental health is okay. You would never have guessed that I had mental health issues if I didn't tell you. I look like just a normal Nancy. And I don't know. Just like, subscribe, and I could show you more, and maybe I can interview people, and maybe they'll let me put them on camera. I guess I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.